Good morning to everyone. Let us continue the remaining part of comparative anatomy of vertebrates. So today here I am going to compare the digestive system of calotus, pigeon and rabbit. So here you can see the digestive system of calotus, digestive system of pigeon and digestive system of rabbit. So let us compare these three digestive systems step by step. So first of all, the comparison of digestive system of calotus. In that first, it includes the digestive system that consists of alimentary canal and digestive glands. So alimentary canal that consists mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine or rectum, cecum, cloaca, cloacal apertures, and in the digestive system it contains liver and pancreas. So in the case of pigeon, here also the digestive system that contains alimentary canal and digestive glands. So alimentary canal, it includes mouth, buccopharyngeal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, cloaca, cloacal apparatus, and digestive glands are gastric glands, liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. So in the case of rabbit, so here also digestive system that consists alimentary canal and digestive glands. So alimentary canal, it includes the following parts: mouth, buccopharyngeal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, cecum, large intestine, anus. Digestive glands are salivary glands, gastric glands, liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. So here I am going to compare the digestive system in that alimentary canal of calotus, pigeon and a rabbit step by step. So first of all, let us first compare the mouth part. The mouth, in the case of calotus, the mouth is wide, semi-oval slit extending round the anterior border of the head. So here you can see in this image. So calotus mouth is wide and it is bounded by non-muscular immovable upper and lower lip. So here mouth is wide and semi-oval slit which extending around the anterior border of the head and which is bounded by the non-muscular immovable upper and lower lips. So in the case of pigeon, so here you can see the mouth has wide gap. It is bounded by the upper and lower horny beaks. Okay, in the case of calotus, here mouth is wide and semi-oval slit. In the pigeon, mouth has a wide gap and it is bounded by a horny beak. In the case of rabbit, the mouth is a small transverse slit at the anterior end of the head. It is bounded by two soft, movable, hairy lips, that is upper and lower lips. Here you can see the upper lip has at its middle a vertical cut. So you have seen here in the upper lip, in the middle part is vertically cut. So this vertical cut is hairy lip or hair lip. The cut is connect the mouth with the external nares above and exposes the front teeth. So the mouth leads into a vestibule. So here vestibule is narrow space enclosed between the lips and cheeks externally and gums and teeth internally. So its lining contains mucous gland and it leads into a buccal cavity. So here presence of vestibule, but in the case of calotus and pigeon. So there is no vestibule. So mouth leads to open the buccopharyngeal cavity. Buccopharyngeal cavity, here it contains two parts, buccal cavity and pharynx. So buccopharyngeal cavity is bounded by the base of the skull in the case of Calotus. So base of the skull above and by the throat below. So its anterior part is known as the buccal cavity and the hind or posterior part is pharynx. So buccopharyngeal cavity is bounded by two parts. One is buccal cavity and another one is pharynx. So however, there is no demarcation between the two regions. So in the case of Calotus, buccal cavity is narrow in front and widen posteriorly. It contains teeth, internal nair, tongue and labial gland. So in the Calotus, you can see here teeth are present in both the jaws. They are homodont, that means all alike, and pleurodont, that means fused to the inner surface of the jaw bones. They are not used for mastication. And the tongue is a thick muscular organ on the floor of the buccal cavity. It is attached behind and freely anteriorly. It bears fine papillae that contain taste buds. So, in the Calotus, internal nares are a pair of small holes on the root of the buccal cavity a little behind the anterior end, and they play a role in respiration. So presence of internal nares, those are small holes which are located at the buccal cavity, that is behind the anterior end, and also presence of labial gland which opens on the lips and they secrete mucus. So in the case of pigeon, the buccopharyngeal cavity is a narrow space in the head bounded dorsally by a skull and ventrally by the throat. So a pair of palate folds grow medially from the sides of the upper jaw, but do not meet in the middle line, leaving a gap. So here there is a presence of a gap in the middle, that is calling as a palate cleft. So this palate folds is absent in the case of Calotus. So here also buccopharyngeal cavity, that means two regions, buccal cavity and pharynx region. So buccal cavity is a narrow in front and widen posteriorly as in the case of Calotus. So it contains a tongue, internal nares and salivary glands. But here teeth are completely absent. So teeth are completely absent. Tongue is flat, fleshy organ on the floor of the buccal cavity. It is pointed in front and bifid behind. So it has taste buds and mucous glands. It helps in swallowing food and also a presence of internal nares. They play a role in respiration and presence of salivary gland, so which includes a median sublingual glands discharging on the floor and paired angle glands opening at the angle of the mouth. So in the case of rabbit, the buccal cavity is large space bounded above by the palate, below by the throat and on sides by the jaws. The throat supports the tongue, the jaws bear teeth. So in this figure you can see the teeth. Teeth occur in both the jaws. Teeth are not similar. Such teeth are called heterodont. There are three types: incisor, premolars and molars. And tongue is long, highly muscular organ. It is attached to the floor of buccal cavity by the greater part of its length. It bears a papillae. The papillae contain taste buds. It is an organ of taste. It helps in chewing by sending the food under the teeth. So buccopharyngeal cavity leads to open the buccal cavity leads to open the pharynx. So in the case of Calotus, the pharynx has a median longitudinal slit that is calling as a glottis, which is situated on a small prominence behind the roof of the tongue, and a pair of openings of Eustachian tubes on the roof close to the angles of the jaws. So the pharynx narrows behind to open into the esophagus. In the case of pigeon, pharynx contains a median oval apparatus that is calling as glottis, so which timid lips on the floor just behind the tongue, and median opening of the Eustachian or pharyngotympanic tubes on the roof opposite the glottis. The pharynx narrows posteriorly and lead into open the esophagus. In the case of rabbit, pharynx is a short conical region beyond the soft palate. The food and air passage cross here. The pharynx divided into two parts, nasopharynx and oropharynx. So pharynx leads to open the esophagus. In Calotus, the esophagus is a straight, narrow tube that extends through neck dorsal to the trachea and passes into the stomach. In the case of pigeon, the esophagus is a long, narrow, distensible tube which extends downwards through the neck dorsal to the trachea and then passes backwards in the thorax to join the stomach. So here you can see the crop. The crop lies between the skin and muscles. The crop enables the pigeon to pick up and store quickly a large amount of food, which can be later digested at leisure. So it may contains over 500 cereal grains. So the crop also secretes a nutritive fluid that is calling as pigeon's milk. So pigeon's milk is secreted by both sexes in the breeding season. So here crop is present. So esophagus is long, narrow, distensible tube. So which contains, or at the end of the esophagus, here you can see the crop. But in the case of Calotus, the crop is absent. In the case of rabbit, esophagus is a long, narrow, straight tube. So here you can see it runs backward through the neck and the thorax and passes through the diaphragm into abdomen. So here it opens into the stomach. So crop is absent here also. So in Calotus, this stomach is a tubular sac situated on the left side of the body cavity. So here you can see the stomach is situated left side of the body cavity and it is a tubular sac. Its anterior part that receives esophagus that is calling as a cardiac stomach, and the posterior part that covers or curves to the right to join the small intestine that is calling as pyloric stomach. So however, no demarcation between the two regions. So in the case of pigeon, the stomach shows two distinct chambers. So here you can see the anterior proventriculus and posterior gizzard. These chambers correspond to the cardiac and pyloric parts of the stomach. The proventriculus is slightly wider than the esophagus. The gizzard is large, biconvex and hard. It has very thick muscular wall and a narrow lumen. So here you can see the gizzard has a small pebbles. These are swallowed by pigeon from outside, and this helps in grinding the grains with muscular contractions of the wall of the gizzard. So here in the pigeon, proventriculus and a gizzard. So these chambers correspond to the cardiac and pyloric part of the stomach. So proventriculus is wider than the esophagus and gizzard is a large, biconvex and hard. So gizzard grind the grains with muscular contractions because it has a small pebbles which are swallowed by pigeon from outside. In the case of rabbit, the stomach is wide, curved sac placed transversely across the anterior part of abdomen. Its anterior concave side is called the lesser curvature and posterior convex side is called greater curvature. The stomach has three parts: cardiac, fundic and pyloric. So here you can see the stomach of the rabbit. So the stomach is wide, curved sac placed transversely across the anterior part of abdomen, and here you can see the anterior concave side, that is calling as a lesser curvature, and posterior convex side, that is a greater curvature. And here you can see the three parts: cardiac, that is cardiac glands, fundic and pyloric. So stomach leads to open the small intestine. So in Calotus, so the small intestine is a long narrow tube. So here you can see in the Calotus, the small intestine is a long narrow tube. The first part, duodenum, it runs straightly forwards parallel to the stomach, forming U-shaped the duodenum into ileum. So here ileum is longest and much coiled, and it leads into open the large intestine. In the case of pigeon, the small intestine is a long narrow tube differentiated into two regions: anterior duodenum and posterior ileum. So duodenum U-shaped, it passes into the ileum. The ileum is longest part of alimentary canal. It first forms a single loop, is then coiled into a sort of spiral, and finally again forms a single loop. So in the case of rabbit, small intestine is a narrow tube about 2 to 2.5 meter long. It is the longest part of the alimentary canal. It consists of three parts: duodenum, ileum and succulus rotundus. So duodenum is U-shaped loop, proximal and distal halves. Ileum is very long and greatly coiled, and its inner surface raised into a numerous finger-like projection called villi. Succulus rotundus is a small roundish sac formed by expansion of the end of the ileum. It opens into the cecum. So succulus rotundus is absent in the case of Calotus and pigeon. It is present only in the rabbit. In the case of Calotus, the small intestine leads to open the large intestine. So here large intestine is a straight, thick-walled, wide tube. It has an ileorectal valve at its entrance and gives off on the left of its beginning a small blind pouch, that is calling as a cecum. So here you can see the cecum. It leads into the cloaca by a sphinctered aperture, that is the anus. In the case of pigeon, the large intestine, also called the rectum, is very short being only about 4 centimeter long. It has the same diameter as small intestine. Cecum is absent here. The rectum opens behind into the cloaca by a way of the anus guarded by an anal sphincter. So the cecum is absent in the case of pigeon. So in the case of rabbit, the cecum is present and is large, thin-walled sac present aside at the junction of small and large intestine. The cecum ends in a narrow, smooth, thick-walled, blind tube. The vermiform appendix. The cecum serves to digest cellulose by bacterial action. But in the case of Calotus and pigeon, the vermiform appendix is absent. So here, in the rabbit, the cecum ends with the vermiform appendix. So the large intestine is long and it shows two regions, colon and rectum. So colon is proximal part of the large intestine and rectum is narrow, thin-walled tube about 75 cm long. The rectum leads to exterior at the anus. So in the Calotus, the cloaca is absent. In the Calotus, the cloaca is short, tubular sac, differentiated 3 parts. You can see here the anterior coprodium that receives the rectum anteriorly, the middle urodium receives urogenital duct dorsally, and bladder ventrally, and posterior proctodium that opens out by cloacal apertures. So cloacal aperture is transverse slit on the ventral side at junction of trunk and the tail. So in the case of pigeon, so cloaca has a 3 chamber, coprodium, urodium and proctodium, and cloacal aperture is large transverse slit at the junction of the trunk and tail on the ventral side in the case of pigeon. In the case of rabbit, so anus lies at the end of the abdomen under the base of tail. It is guarded by an anal sphincter. So next part is digestive glands. So in the case of Calotus, the digestive glands of Calotus includes the gastric glands, liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. In the case of pigeon, it includes gastric glands, liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. In the case of rabbit, it includes salivary gland, gastric gland, liver, pancreas and intestinal gland. So in the case of Calotus, gastric glands are microscopic, simple or branched pits in the mucous membrane of the stomach. They secrete gastric juice into the stomach. So here gastric gland are microscopic and they secrete gastric juice into the stomach. In case of pigeon, gastric glands are microscopic, simple or branched pits in the mucous membrane of proventriculus. They pour gastric juice into the lumen of the proventriculus. In the case of Calotus, liver is large, brownish, bilobed gland behind the heart between the lungs. Here you can see in the image. So liver is large, brownish, bilobed gland. The gallbladder is embedded in right lobe. From it, a bile duct leads backward and opens into beginning of the duodenum. The liver secretes bile. So in the case of pigeon, liver is large, dark red organ situated behind the heart. It consists of 2 lobes, right and left, each having its own bile duct. There is no gallbladder in pigeon. So liver secrete bile. In case of Calotus, pancreas elongated whitish gland in between stomach and duodenum. It secretes pancreatic juice which drained by pancreatic duct into posterior part of the duodenum. So here pancreas whitish gland which is present between the stomach and duodenum and secretes pancreatic juice. In the case of pigeon, so pancreas is pinkish gland situated in the loop of the duodenum. It sends 3 pancreatic ducts. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Intestinal gland, in the case of Calotus, it lies mucous membrane of small intestine and it secretes intestinal juice into intestine. In the case of pigeon, it lie in the mucosa of the small intestine, secrete intestinal juice into lumen of duodenum and ileum. So in the case of Calotus, it lie mucosa membrane of small intestine and secrete intestinal juice into intestine. So in the case of pigeon, it lie in the mucosa of small intestine and it secrete intestinal juice into the lumen of duodenum and ileum. In the case of rabbit, here it includes salivary gland, gastric gland, liver, pancreas and intestinal gland. So in salivary gland, here you can see there are 4 pairs: parotid, sublingual, submandibular or submaxillary, infraorbital pairs. So it secretes alkaline juice called saliva. It contains water, salts, mucus and 2 enzymes, taline and maltase. So in the gastric gland, as similar in the case of Calotus, it secretes gastric juice into the cavity of stomach. Gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid and 2 enzymes, that is pepsinogen and prorenin. And the other organ or other gland, liver. Liver is large, dark red and spongy. The liver consists of 5 lobes. The gallbladder stores bile secreted by the liver. The bile greenish fluid. And in the case of pancreas, pancreatic gland, so pancreas is irregular pinkish gland held between 2 limbs of the duodenum. It secretes an alkaline fluid, that is the pancreatic juice, which carried by pancreatic duct. And intestinal gland. Intestinal glands are numerous and microscopic. They lie in the wall of the small intestine. They are 2 types: crypts of Lieberkühn and Berners glands. They secrete intestinal juice. The juice contains many enzymes. So as I conclude here, in the Calotus, the mouth is wide, semi-oval slit and there is no vestibule and teeth are present in both the jaws. In the case of pigeon, it is a wide gap triangle shaped slit and it is bounded by horny beak. There is no vestibule and teeth are absent in both jaws. In the case of rabbit, mouth is transverse slit and it is bounded by movable horny lips and a narrow space called vestibule is present between the teeth and lips and cheeks. Teeth occur in both jaws. They are thecodont, heterodont and diffeodont. Teeth are used in mastication. So in case Calotus, tongue is thick muscular organ and it bears fine papillae that contains taste buds. In the case of pigeon, tongue is attached and immobile and it is bifid and bears fine horny processes without taste buds. In the case of rabbit, tongue is attached but has a freely protrusible tip, and it bears many papillae which carrying taste buds. In case of Celotes, pharynx has a median longitudinal slit, that is glottis. In pigeon, it lacks epiglottis and it has a single opening of a Eustachian tube. In the case of rabbit, it bears epiglottis at its front edge and it has a pair of openings of a Eustachian tube on the sides of its roof. Esophagus in the case of Celotes is a straight narrow tube, and here crop is absent. In the case of pigeon, esophagus is long narrow tube but expanded in front of sternum to form a large thin walled bilobed glandular sac, that is crop. So here crop is present. In the case of rabbit, esophagus is a long narrow tube of nearly uniform diameter. There is no crop. So in the case of Celotes, the stomach is tubular sac and situated on the left side of the body cavity, and there is no demarcation between two regions, that is cardiac and pyloric stomach. In the case of pigeon, stomach lies longitudinally on the left side of body cavity. It has two distinct parts, anterior narrow tubular glandular proventriculus and posterior wider biconvex muscular gizzard. So there are stones in the gizzard for grinding food. In the case of rabbit, stomach is a wide curved sac lying transversely across the anterior part of the abdominal cavity. It has two indistinct parts, left side cardiac stomach and a right narrow pyloric stomach. There are no stones in the stomach. So in the Celotes, small intestine is long, narrow tube. The first part duodenum and the second part is ileum. Duodenum is here stomach is forming a U shape, that is the duodenum, and ileum is much coiled, which leads to opens the large intestine. So in the case of pigeon, duodenum is a straight tube and form U with the stomach, and it receives left bile duct into its proximal limb and a right bile duct and 3 pancreatic ducts into its distal limb. Ileum bears small finger-like villi on its inner surface. There is no succulus rodentus. And in the case of Celotes also, there is no succulus rotundus. In the case of rabbit, duodenum is a U-shaped tube. It receives a bile duct into the beginning of proximal limb and a pancreatic duct into the beginning of distal limb. Ileum bears well-developed finger-like villi on its inner surface. Ileum ends in a succulus rotundus. In case of Celotes, large intestine is a straight, thick-walled, wide tube. So it gives off on the left of its beginning a small blind pouch, that is cecum. It leads into a cloaca by a sphincter's aperture, that is anus. So in the case of pigeon, large intestine is very short and consists of a rectum only. Rectum leads into a cloaca by anus guarded by anal sphincter. In the case of rabbit, large intestine is very long and consists of two parts, anterior wide succular colon and posterior narrow rectum. Rectum leads to exterior by anus provided with anal sphincter. Then the cecum. So as I said, in the Celotes, so cecum is present. In pigeon, a pair of small ceca open into the beginning of a rectum. There is no vermiform appendix in the case of Celotes as well as in the case of pigeon. In the case of rabbit, a large thin-walled tubular cecum occurs at the junction of small and large intestine. Cecum ends in a tube, the vermiform appendix. Then here the cloaca is short, tubular sac differentiated into 3 parts. So, in the Calotus, cloacal apertures is transverse slit on the ventral side at junction of trunk and the tail. So, in the case of pigeon, cloaca is prominent with 3 parts: anterior coprodium, middle urodium and posterior proctodium. Cloacal aperture is a transverse slit with tumid lips at the base of tail. In rabbit, cloaca is absent. So, in the digestive gland, liver is large, brownish, bilobed gland which is present behind the heart in between the lungs, as in the case of Calotus. And gallbladder is embedded in the right lobe. In the case of pigeon, the liver consists of 2 lobes, large right lobe and a small left lobe. There is no gallbladder. There are 2 bile ducts, right and left. In the case of rabbit, liver consists of 5 lobes. An elongated gallbladder occurs in pit on the hind surface of right central lobe. There is a single bile duct. Pancreas, in the case of Calotus, elongated whitish gland between stomach and duodenum, and it secretes pancreatic juice, which drained by pancreatic duct into posterior part of the duodenum. In the case of pigeon, pancreas is a pinkish band-like gland in the loop of duodenum. It has 3 pancreatic ducts. In the case of rabbit, pancreas is an irregular gland in the loop of duodenum. It has a single pancreatic duct. And also presence of intestinal gland which secretes intestinal juice in the case of Calotus, and also in the case of pigeon and rabbit. Thank you.